Now I want to talk a little bit about the alcohol component. One of the elements of yesterday's confirmation hearing of Pete Hegseth that came up are the numerous allegations of being so drunk that fill in the blanks, right? So drunk that he yelled, "Kill all Muslims," so drunk that he had to be physically carried out of places, all these different things. During the hearing, Republican Senator Markwayne Mullin sort of defended Hegseth by saying there are senators who show up drunk to votes. He later, last night, appeared on CNN with Caitlin Collins. Caitlin Collins plays the relevant part of the hearing and then asks him, who is showing up drunk? We didn't get answers, but here's how it went.
I'm just looking for qualifications. You didn't give me any qualifications.
Starts bringing up the fact that what if you showed up drunk to your job? How many senators have showed up drunk to vote at night? Have any of you guys asked them to step down and resign from their job? And don't tell me you haven't seen it, because I know you have.
I mean, first off, that's a pretty serious accusation there. Do you want to name any of the senators that you're saying are drinking on the job?
No, and that's my whole point is that these senators on the other side of the aisle was trying to act like they had more morals than Pete Hegseth, and they don't. If you're going to hold someone accountable for their behavior, then hold everybody accountable. I'm not saying I'm the most moral man or the perfect individual. I'm absolutely not. I wasn't the one calling him out. But if you're going to hold someone at that standard, then hold everybody at that standard. And it's a complete hypocrisy what they were showing when they were talking about his affairs. There's multiple members of Congress that's had affairs on their wives, and that they haven't called to be stepped down. They haven't called them to step down either.
This guy's syntax is wacky.
And then when it talks about qualifications, what is the qualification to be the Secretary of Defense? The only qualification is you got to be a United States citizen. That's it. Other than that, it is the president's choice, and the Senate has the right to advise and consent. And he meets the qualifications to be the next Secretary of Defense.
But I was in that room today, and when you said that, I guess the thought that went through my head was, if what you're saying is true and your colleagues do show up drinking to come to work and vote, which I think would maybe be concerning to those taxpayers who pay them, how is the bad behavior of a sitting senator a defense of someone who wants to run the Pentagon?
Correct.
It's not. What they were saying is he was incapable of doing his job. And Caitlin, what I was trying to get to is, if you're capable of doing your job and you're able to still drink on the job.
He's kind of saying, like, if senators can be drunk and vote, then certainly Pete Hegseth can be drunk and lead the military, which is a very low bar.
Job, or late in the evening, then don't tell me that Pete can't. And Pete had already said he's not going to drink, but they just kept hammering it. Pete is qualified to do the job.
He's promised he's really not going to be drunk. He won't be doing the drinking as Secretary of Defense. I do think that if this is an allegation that Markwayne Mullin is going to make, he should bring receipts. And if he's not willing to bring receipts, because again, this is something he raised. It's not like this was something that was dropped on him and now he's unwilling to provide additional information. He brought up out of nowhere, senators show up drunk, so why can't Pete Hegseth drink and be Secretary of Defense? But then now he's unwilling to actually provide receipts. We can't really accept it even as a nominally as an argument, unless he's going to provide some evidence. And of course, he's unwilling to. I don't know about unable. It may well be true that senators are showing up drunk, but just throwing it out there and saying, confirm Pete, because senators I won't name show up drunk at times that I won't sort of elaborate on, that seems like a cop-out. Caitlin Collins trying to hold him accountable didn't really work. And I think that if we step back, as I said at the beginning, and this will move on from Pete Hegseth, as I said at the beginning, drunk or not, sexual assaulter or not, cheater in his marriages or not, these are all different levels of character problem. He doesn't have the knowledge nor the experience to be Secretary of Defense, both when it comes to defense and when it comes to managing people, both of which he'd be doing in that role. The character liabilities are just like, oh, this guy's particularly a piece of crap. And just from an optics perspective, he shouldn't be in a position of power. But the real problem, unless you disagree with me, if so, let me know. The real problem is he's completely unqualified and lacks the knowledge. Let me know what you think. Well, I wrote a book after a long journey and a ton of work. I am really thrilled with how it turned out, and I hope you'll read it. The book is called The Echo Machine, and in a nutshell, it looks at how American politics got so broken, who has already figured out solutions, and how we can try to fix it and stop the terror of Trump for the next 4 years. With Trump winning this election, the Echo Machine couldn't be more relevant, not only a warning about how we got here, but also about what might be coming and how to prevent the worst outcomes. We've got to stay engaged. We need a plan, and that's what the book is about. There's a belief out there that unless you have corporate media behind you, you can't have a successful political book launch, that it's not possible. I think we can prove that wrong. Order The Echo Machine today at davidpakman.com/echo on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Audible, Kindle, anywhere that books, ebooks, and audiobooks are sold. You can also call any local bookstore and say, please order me The Echo Machine by David Pakman. Wherever you get the book, you'll get the free pre-order perks, including the signed book plate. Head to davidpakman.com/free book stuff after ordering.